Hi, everybody. Megan, faithful fibromyalgia warrior here. I hope you're all doing well. I'm doing pretty well. We have been going through a heat wave here in the UK, which kind of crazy for September. Um, it was over 30 degrees Celsius this weekend. Super hot last night, but although it's still warm out today, at least the temperatures dropped down to like 25, 26 degrees. But in spite of that, I've still been getting to the gym 3 times a week. I've been trying to make sure I'm moving around fairly regularly, keeping in motion. Trying to make sure I'm not letting myself sit for too long, keeping my muscles active, and I've been doing all right. It's been a good week, but again, a heat wave. So the desire to get out and do more than just getting to the gym has kind of not really been there. It's been far too hot for that. And today, I started out feeling really guilty because I was going to get up early, I was going to go to the gym, I was going to get a whole bunch of studying done for my course. And when I got up this morning, I was just done. I needed to do nothing. And, you know, spent time praying about it. I spent time just really meditating on why am I exercising, as far as why am I going to the gym? Why am I trying to do all this strength training? And as much as I was telling myself, oh, build muscle mass, maintain muscle mass, building bone, making sure I have good density in my bones and, preventing osteoporosis. And all that's true. But honestly, I was thinking, well, if I do all this resistance training with weight machines, I'm going to get ripped. And the fact is, no, I won't. Those exercises are not what make you ripped. They're not. They're not at all. I walk just under a mile to get to the gym, and I walk just under a mile to get back home after, and I feel really good. And then I do about a 2 mile walk every other day, other than these last couple of days because it was too hot, so I didn't walk the dogs. Otherwise, I get out days I'm out at the gym. I'm taking a good walk, almost 2 miles worth, and that's my cardio. I hate running. Don't want to run. Not gonna run. But I was somehow still in the back of my mind thinking, oh, all this work with the weights and the machines, and yeah, I'll get stronger, and I'm gonna suddenly get super toned and ripped. No, those exercises aren't gonna do that. They're not. That's not what they're gonna do. To do that, for me, I would have to up my cardio game, and I'm not there yet. And I realized, wait a second, why am I trying so hard to be this person who does massive cardio workouts, trains hard as if I was, going to be a bodybuilder or competing in some level? That's not me. That's not me. And I was honestly doing it all truly in the deepest heart of hearts. My secret motivator that I didn't want to have to admit to, but is true, is, oh, well, because I want to look super fit and toned. It was for my vanity. I wasn't even, I've been able to be out of a wheelchair 95% of my time, more like 97%. On a hot day, if I have to go into the center of town, if I have to get some groceries done, that's too much for me to walk down there and carry all that back without strain at this point. That will change, but I'm not there yet. Okay, which is fine. The very simple act of being able to get up, get out of the house, put on some good running shoes, go take a walk, enjoy nature, have a time of prayer, knowing that when I'm eating my mostly animal meats diet with some coffee and, might have a cappuccino as well. But for the most part, it's animal products, guess what? Wow, I feel amazing. I feel good. I have almost no joint pain. My rosacea is slowly but surely starting to clear up. My hormones are finally regulating. I'm finally starting to head towards the menopausal state of life. Perimenopause for now, heading towards menopause as I was already starting to do, but now my hormones are finally getting the memo. My hair, which it gets a little frizzy in this with this heat and humidity, but overall, for the most part, very little of it falls out now. My eyebrows have fully grown back in. They're very fair. I'm very blonde, very light colored hair, so they've never been dark brows, but my eyelashes have stopped falling out. My teeth are getting a bit whiter. My nails are no longer split and cracked. The skin on the bottoms of my feet and on my heels are no longer split and cracked. Those are all things that are incredible, momentous, miraculous. And because I didn't suddenly magically get abs after being at the gym for just 2 weeks, I forgot all about these blessings that God gave me. Wow. Ridiculous, right? After being injured 9.5 years ago, being in a wheelchair 97% of the time for 8.5 of those years, to now being able to walk 2 miles a day and do some resistance training at the gym and sit on a stationary bike for up to 4.5 minutes on high tension setting. Nah, for what reason? I don't need to. I'm not training for Tour de France. I'm just trying to get some good cardio started. The fact that I'm a UK size 10, which is I think a size 6 in Canada and the States. And I mention that because at one time I wore a size 22 UK, okay, which is a size 18. That's huge. That's massive. I was 215 pounds at my absolute heaviest, which is about 20 pounds more than I ever weighed with either of my pregnancies. And yet those things I seem to have forgotten, but because I don't look like a 20-year-old might, who's got abs and never had children and never suffered health conditions, might look like in a bathing suit because they are at the gym all the time and they are doing, whatever the food they're eating is what they're eating. That's great for them. I'm coming back from having almost zero mobility. Certainly, I lost use of my functioning brain for a long time with fibromyalgia and IBS and sore joints and inflammation and chronic pain and all of these things. And oftentimes my gums would bleed when I brushed my teeth. It was not scurvy. It was inflammation, as in whole body inflammation because of what I was eating. I had fatty liver disease. I had not only an underactive, but a broken thyroid. When I worked out the other day and I got a bit of a sweat going, kind of just under my workout tank top, I wasn't drenched in sweat, but I was sweating. That was a huge victory for me, because when I was at my heaviest, when I was at my sickest, when my thyroid was the most broken, my body could not regulate its own temperature properly. So I would have to put on layers and layers because I had Raynaud's, and that would flare up. But not only that, is it didn't matter what I did, it was like I couldn't sweat. I could not break a sweat. My body's ability to cool itself down through sweating didn't work because of all of these problems I was having. And it all started with the diet. And then I realized today, I have been given so much love and life and purpose and joy that matters so much more than having a six-pack. If I ever get to that point, cool. But I'm not going to stress about it. I'm not going to worry about it. Well, I say that. I might, because that's one of the things I struggle with. is feeling confident in what I look like, what shape I have. You know, it's crazy because I know in my head, I know intellectually that I have a very good body fat percentage. My body fat percentage is 20%. For a woman my age, so I'm 51, for a woman my age who has been sedentary, never mind living with chronic illness and autoimmune conditions, my body fat percentage should be between 25 and 30%. Apparently, my body fat percentage is approximately 20%. I'm not only in the healthy range, I'm in the optimal range. And the thing is what I keep forgetting is every time we eat and digest something, it could be liquid, it could be solid, it will cause reactions, which produces some gas, which produces hormones to be signaled and secreted, which can cause, our tummies to bulge a bit, what we would call food babies. And as the digestion carries on and things are broken down further and metabolized, that dissipates. Also, I don't have a very strong core because, again, for 8.5 of my 9.5 years of disability and lack of mobility, I couldn't do anything to strengthen my core. I have always had horrible posture ever since I was a small child. I mean, I remember, I don't know if it was just me or if the whole school did it, but there was a time when the public health nurse came in and everybody was tested to make sure we didn't have scoliosis. And I just remember she had me bend forward and to the side and try to straighten up, and she wanted to, took out her measuring stick and tape measure to make sure that the way I was standing was bad posture, but not because I had actual curvature of the spine, which I'm glad to say I do not, luckily. However, that gives me no excuse because I spent years slouched, hunched, curled up awkwardly, to the point where, when we do that long enough, the muscles adjust to that new position. Our skeletons, our spines will adapt to however we hold it. So I am now working hard every day to make sure I stand up straight, keep my shoulders back, keep my chin back, don't let my neck get too sore, don't scrunch over too much, stretch regularly. If I'm going to sit with my knees folded, kind of leaning to my left side, then after a while I need to swap and lean to the right. And give equal time to both sides. Make sure when I stand with my pelvis tipped under. Even I see people at the gym doing their thing, lifting all these heavy weights, and it's amazing, good for them. I'm a little envious, but each and every one of them, when they stand with an anterior tilt to their spine, which means when they stand, their butts, their lower back curves in and their butts stick out, even if it's just a little bit. So they're building on poor posture. They're adding strain to that part of their back that carries all the stress and all the weight of our bodies when we move, when we sleep. It all goes to the sacrum and the sacroiliac joint. That's what allows us movement. So when that's irritated, when we have horrible posture, when we don't stand up properly, when our butts are sticking out, whether we mean to or not, even if it's just a tiny bit, if we're not consciously working to tuck our pelvis under, we're just adding to it. And I realized, you know what? I'm starting from scratch. I have a chance to, not really, but kind of, build a better back, stand straighter, build better posture, just overall make improvements. I'm so lucky. And that should have been the thing that I was focused on. Not whether or not I'm starting to get abs, not whether or not I've, cut more body fat. I don't need to. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Exactly. In fact, I'm doing better than the majority of women my age. And I'm lucky for that. I'm thankful for that. And I realized today that that's really all I need to think about and be grateful for. God has blessed me so much. And I was just so upset because I wasn't looking like, some of these 20-something-year-olds. Again, you've never had children, never had autoimmune or other physical issues, who've probably, from a young age, started working out at the gym, lifting weights, pumping iron, doing cardio, whatever it was. Good for them. But I have to learn to be happy with who I am right now, because who I am is pretty lucky. God has completely transformed my life and continues to heal me every day. And absolutely, meat is the medicine. Meat is the medicine. God is the healer. Meat is the medicine. For me, if you've never seen my videos before, my meat of choice is fatty ground beef, or to be more specific, if you're here in the UK, 20% fat, ground mince, fried up in a pan with a couple of egg yolks. Sometimes I'll cut up a bit of sausage, mix it in. Sometimes I'll have bacon with that. Sometimes it's just beef and eggs. And breakfast, typically now what I make is I'll scramble fry 3 eggs, which means I'll chuck lots of butter in the pan, throw in 3 eggs. I don't like them just plain fried. As they're partway cooked, instead of making them into fried eggs, I just kind of let them break up so they're kind of scrambled and kind of fried. So I call them scramble fried. I know it's not that original, but delicious. And sometimes when I'm craving fat, I'll melt some more butter on top once they come out of the frying pan. And that's my favorite thing for breakfast. And that's me. You know what? If you like seafood, if you like fish, if you like pork and poultry, and you do well with those things, eat them. They are still animals that God created. They are carnivore. I have limited amounts of cheese, very limited. And like I said, if I have any dairy, it'll be the frothed milk on a cappuccino. And that's it. Otherwise, I don't drink it. I don't consume it because I do have a lactose intolerance. So the more I take, the worse I am. I get a bit gassy, which is no fun for me or anybody else. And I find that it does seem to make my rosacea flare up a bit. So I kind of know how much I can have and be okay. So if I'm having maybe 1 cappuccino a day, I'm okay. Any more than that, it's too much dairy for me. So I avoid it. So I drink my coffee black, whether it's, we have a cafetiere, a filter, French press, and I have this really good Lavazza decaf that I buy, that I make in the cafetiere. It is decaffeinated through the Swiss water process, which gets rid of the caffeine without the chemicals. And it tastes really nice. And what I'll do is I'll make up a full cafetiere in the morning, which is about 3 mugs of coffee, okay? And then I just leave it in there for several hours, and then I pour it over ice cubes, add a bit of cold water, and I've got a nice ice cold decaf coffee, which maybe has 3 milligrams of caffeine. So it's not completely caffeine free, but it's a lot better than, say, multiple cappuccinos, which have anywhere from 2 to 4 espresso shots in them, depending where you go. Just that little FYI for you guys. But I've been given so many things to be thankful for. My health, my mental acuity, my ability to focus, and just be in the moment, be here and now is a blessing. But I wanted to share with you guys because I too have fallen into the trap. I too have forgotten all that I have and tried to pursue all the things I think I'm supposed to be, but they're not me. They never have been, and they don't have to be now. I hope this is helpful. I hope you're encouraged. Honestly, I'm just looking forward to getting regular movement every day, as much as possible. Depending on the weather, for example, a heat wave, I'm going to do a whole lot less because it's a heat wave and I don't want to pass out. Whether I get to the gym, whether I'm out for a walk with the dogs, whether I'm just out taking a prayer walk, it all counts, and it's all good, and it's all positive. And wherever you're at, I hope this might help you in some way. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Sorry about the wiggliness of the video. Yeah. Didn't quite have as steady a hand as I had hoped. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate all your support. Hope you're doing well. I'll see you guys soon in the next one. Bye.